Psalm 118 verse 1, New International Version. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, his love endures forever. This verse is a simple invitation with a deep and joyful truth. God is good, and his love never runs out. When we think of God in this way, not as distant or stern, but as genuinely happy, welcoming, and full of delight, it changes how we respond to him. His goodness is not reluctant, it overflows. He takes joy in loving, joy in giving, and joy in being present with us. Gratitude, then, becomes a natural response to a God who is not only loving, but glad to love. To say, God is good, means more than just believing he does good things. It means his very character is kindness, generosity, and compassion. He delights in creation, in people, and in relationship. He is not waiting to withhold love or to turn away. Instead, he consistently pours it out. His love is not moody or unpredictable. It is steady, reliable, and endlessly renewing. It is the kind of love that celebrates, that comforts, that strengthens, and that patiently stays. When the verse says his love endures forever, it reminds us that there is no expiration date on his care. Time does not wear it down. Mistakes do not cancel it. Circumstances do not limit it. Whether life feels full and joyful or heavy and uncertain, his love remains the same. Present, active, and available. Even in moments when we struggle to feel it, it is still there, quietly holding us up. Because of this, giving thanks is not meant to be something we do only when everything is going well. It is meant to become a way of living, a steady rhythm of recognizing God's goodness in every season. We give thanks in moments of happiness, when blessings are easy to see and joy feels natural. In those times, gratitude becomes celebration, a way of acknowledging the source of all that is good. But we are also invited to give thanks in quieter, more difficult moments. Not because pain or hardship is good in itself, but because God's presence within those moments is still good. Gratitude in hardship might look like recognizing small mercies, the strength to get through the day, the comfort of a kind word, the simple gift of breath and existence. It is a way of anchoring the heart in the truth that even when life is uncertain, God's love is not. Giving thanks at all times does not mean forcing happiness or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it means choosing to remain aware of God's goodness regardless of circumstances. It means trusting that his love is working, even when we do not fully understand how. This kind of gratitude is honest. It can exist alongside questions, struggles, and even sorrow. Practically, giving thanks can take many forms. It can be spoken aloud in prayer, quietly acknowledged in the heart, or expressed through actions that reflect appreciation. It can happen in the morning as a way of beginning the day with awareness of God's presence. It can happen throughout the day in small pauses, moments where we notice something good and recognize it as a gift. It can also happen at night, reflecting on the day and seeing how God's love showed up, even in unexpected ways. There is also a communal aspect to gratitude, sharing thanks with others, through encouragement, kindness, and generosity, becomes a way of reflecting God's goodness outward. When we live with gratitude, it shapes how we see people and situations. It softens the heart, builds patience, and creates a sense of peace that is not dependent on perfection. A happy, loving God is not asking for forced praise, but inviting genuine connection. He welcomes honest gratitude, the kind that comes from noticing, trusting, and responding. Over time, this practice of giving thanks begins to transform how we see the world. Instead of focusing only on what is lacking or difficult, we begin to recognize what is present and sustaining in every moment. Whether loud or quiet, joyful or challenging, there is always something to give thanks for, because God's love is always there. It is constant, joyful, and enduring. And as we grow in gratitude, we begin to reflect that same goodness, carrying a sense of peace and joy that reaches beyond ourselves and into the lives of others. Take a moment to recognize the goodness of God and respond with gratitude, because his nature is consistently kind, generous, and faithful. He is not distant or indifferent, but deeply loving, always reaching toward humanity with compassion and care. His goodness is not temporary or dependent on circumstances. It is steady and unchanging, even when life feels uncertain. God's love is not something that fades with time or weakens through failure. It is enduring, patient, and endlessly renewed. No matter how often we fall short, his love remains present, offering forgiveness, comfort, and hope. It is the kind of love that stays, that holds on, that refuses to give up. To give thanks, then, is more than a polite response. It is an acknowledgement of who God truly is. It is a way of opening the heart to recognize that we are continually sustained by His mercy. Gratitude becomes a natural response when we see that everything good, every breath, every moment of peace, every chance to begin again, flows from His enduring love. This verse invites us into a relationship built not on fear or obligation, but on trust in a God who is always good and always loving. It encourages us to live with a posture of thankfulness, knowing that no matter what we face, we are held by a love that does not end. We are loved by a God whose goodness is not fleeting, whose mercy is not conditional, and whose faithfulness stretches beyond the horizon of every tomorrow we will ever face. When we read this verse, we are not merely encountering ancient poetry. We are stepping into an invitation that has echoed across millennia, sung by generations who discovered in their darkest valleys and their highest mountaintops that God's character remains unchanged. He is good. Not sometimes, not when circumstances align, not when we have performed well enough to earn it. He is good because goodness is woven into the very fabric of who He is. It is His nature, His essence, His unshakable identity. We do not thank Him for what He gives us alone, we thank Him for who He is. The gifts flow from the giver, and the giver is infinitely more valuable than anything His hands could bestow. And then there is that second phrase, the one that takes our breath away if we let it sink in deeply. His love endures forever. It is covenant love. It is the love that persists when we are unlovable. It is the love that remains when every earthly affection has grown cold. It is the love that outlasts our failures, our doubts, our wanderings, and our returns. His love does not merely visit us in seasons of ease, it endures, it weathers storms, it survives our silence, it waits in the wilderness, it welcomes us home. Consider the weight of forever. In a world where everything expires, relationships fracture, health declines, beauty fades, empires crumble, here is a love with no expiration date. The same love that called light out of darkness, that led Israel through the sea, that sent prophets despite rebellion, that became flesh and dwelt among us, that stretched out arms on a cross and said, "Father, forgive them." That love is yours today. It will be yours in your final breath. It will be yours in the resurrection morning. Forever is not hyperbole with God. It is a promise sealed by His own faithfulness. To give thanks, then, is not a religious exercise. It is the most rational response of a heart that has glimpsed even a fraction of this truth. When we cultivate gratitude, we are aligning ourselves with reality. We are acknowledging that beneath the noise of our anxieties and the chaos of our calendars, there abides a goodness that cannot be shaken and a love that will not let us go. Even when we cannot trace His hand, we can trust His heart. Even when the path is unclear, the one who walks beside us is perfectly clear in His devotion to us. So let this verse become more than words on a page. Let it become a rhythm in your soul. When you wake, whisper it. When you doubt, cling to it. When you rejoice, sing it loudly. When you weep, let it be the pillow where you rest your weary head. Give thanks, not because everything is perfect, but because He is perfectly good. Trust His love, not because you feel worthy of it, but because His love was never dependent on your worthiness. It endures. It always has. It always will. And you, beloved, are held within it today, tomorrow, and forevermore.